People came to the Broken Arrow City Council meeting Tuesday night, sharing their religious-based opposition to the Broken Arrow Pride Fest happening August 13th.
Sin that the Pride Fest is wanting to celebrate is filthy, unlawful, and wicked.
Clifford Hyde, along with 18 others, pushing for the fest to be canceled.
The Pride Fest, I am totally opposed to it. Any gay thing now or in the future, I'm opposed to it because God's opposed to it.
Pride Fest organizer Jen Teehee says they're getting threats online too.
Just last night, somebody made a graphic saying that they were going to have just outside of the park, they're going to show up with, you know, American flags and just red, white, and blue, and just show up and I don't really know what they're going to stand for.
The city's planning committee approved the permits needed for the fest earlier this year. Penny Nelson is also a Pride Fest organizer. She says this won't stop them and adds Pride Fest will be a yearly thing. She says the idea sparked after students protested the bullying happening at schools towards LGBTQ+ students.
That is exactly what sparked this for us. That's why we started this. Once all that began, we came together and we decided that we needed to do something to show support in whatever way we could.
The event is next Saturday. It starts at 11. There will be food trucks and other kid-friendly events. And coming up at 6, the security efforts in place to keep everyone safe while they have fun. President Shauna Mott Wright with TCTA says that with those contracts, like for employees you just mentioned not being passed, programs and other important items, she says this is problematic as we start the school year in just under a month. An emotional day after Monday night's Tulsa School Board meeting left many things for the upcoming school year in limbo. Tulsa Classroom Teachers Association President Shauna Mott Wright says we have to do what's best for kids, and what happened at the meeting is far from best.
When you can't have a discussion, where do you go from there?
Questions like that erupting after calls for a state audit of TPS by board members, a contentious board meeting, and calls by 3 board members for Superintendent Dr. Deborah Gist to resign. During last night's meeting, 2 school board members, Janetti Marshall and Elena Ashley, voted no to all agenda items, and member Dr. Jerry Griffin voted no to half of the items. Out of the 6 members in attendance, this caused the items to not pass, including teacher contracts.
So that means fewer teachers on top of fewer teachers. We already have that issue, right? Which also means bigger class sizes.
Programs like EDGE and Chinese classes were not approved.
Booker T won't have Chinese, which I'm sure seems silly or stupid to some people. Well, not if you chose that school specifically for that because you want to do international business in China.
Mott Wright says to move on isn't business as usual, but trying to find ways to resolve and work together to get these things passed.
It doesn't mean we kumbaya all the time. It doesn't mean we agree on everything. Also, just because I have this thought, this train of thought, this train, and that they're not mutually exclusive. Critical thinking is a skill.
TPS is having a special board meeting this Thursday starting at 1 p.m. and as of right now, Mott Wright says those items that were not passed yesterday are not on the agenda for Thursday just yet. Look here, this is what staff said county came to fix. They fixed this ditch right here, but if you look across the street by the church and these homes, that's what they're waiting on right now is these ditches to be replaced. And I also spoke with the county commissioner of this area, and I must warn you that conversation got a little heated, and we will warn you of explicit language. When the storms hit in May, it not just rained, it flooded Northside Evangelistic Temple Church in Preston.
Our church flooded 3 times back to back.
Giselle Bagby, a board member with the church, says not only did it get the church, but it got her home too.
Oh, it's terrible. It's mold.
While she redoes every room in her house, the church is dealing with mold and replacing floors.
We had restoration come in when the first flood hit. So where all their equipment was in there, the flood hit again. So here's a big bill that you got to pay not once, but you got to start all over again because it flooded again.
The problem, she says, is the ditches and plumbing are not working properly and are asking the county to fix it.
The ditches have filled up. We have no whistles to carry the water away. So where we're downhill, my house and the church, we catch it.
When I called the Okmulgee County Commissioner's office for District 1, I was told Commissioner Ron Ballard wasn't around. He showed up to the church to talk to the pastor, but Ballard started raising his voice. We were there to catch it happen.
I'm going to come down there in the morning, and we're going to dig this all the way out. Every bit of it.
Well, right.
And I don't want to hear nothing else about this damn thing. Huh?
Why are you getting upset about it?
Because it's bull crap.
I even tried asking him a question. So, Commissioner, how does the county take care of this but not this side? Is it because it's property?
It's private property.
Now, Ballard says he will be out with the county tomorrow to fix the remaining ditches. Live in Preston, covering News That Matters. And the Oklahoma State Board of Education voted in a 4-2 vote on a harsher penalty than originally recommended for TPS. The board ultimately decided to demote the district's accreditation to the more severe accreditation with warning instead of accreditation with deficiency. Accredited with warning means the site or school fails to meet one or more of the standards and seriously detracts from the quality of the school's education program. Board member Brian Bobek says he stands by his decision on the demotion.
My opinion is that warning is warranted, and my motion stands.
Okay, you said your opinion is that whoever took the training is going to be biased. That's what you're saying.
It's part of it, yes.
Board member Estela Hernandez wanted an even harsher punishment for TPS.
In the tier of accredited with probation. Why? Because of the deliberate and unnecessarily violates one or more of the regulations. And we've seen this district, not only with 1775, but in other ways, violate the opportunity for these students to get exceptional quality education.
State Representative Regina Goodwin was at the meeting and is now speaking out, saying there is no evidence that HB 1775 was violated.
That says that by virtue of your race or sex, you are inherently racist or sexist. It was not in any of the materials. I saw the materials. It's not there. And the board members see that it's not there.
Goodwin says 1775 is a dangerous law.
And it affects families. If you have a little black boy, a little black girl in your and you're in the school, perhaps they have a teacher that feels a certain kind of way. And that would certainly impact the way she teaches that child, how she relates to that child, how she communicates, and possibly how she would even grade the work of a child like that.
Shay and Sarah, the homeowner and fire chief of Sapulpa, say this is a tragedy, but a miracle. Everyone made it out safe. These pictures are of what Sapulpa firefighters pulled up to just after 11 a.m. Monday.
It's kind of like, you know, you got to go cry somewhere. I feel like crying, but I'm going to do okay. And I hope these girls do okay.
That's homeowner Jerry Taylor. He says he rented out the home to people in need. All they were responsible for, he says, was paying utilities and keeping the yard clean.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but they ain't got nowhere to live now. It's gone.
He says the tenants weren't keeping the yard clean, so over the weekend, his son-in-law told them they have to move out.
Here in the last few months, she's been dragging more stuff in up front than she's been cleaning up.
However, now the home is a complete loss.
I'm over. That's all. I can't help nobody else.
Battalion Chief Brad Shields says the home caught fire downstairs and moved upstairs. Living in the home, Taylor says, was two girls. They rented out the two other rooms to an older couple and a couple with a child. Taylor adds he was just trying to help as many people as he can get on their feet. Now he doesn't know how to help.
Oh, I pray to God they can, because I can't. These girls need some help.
Chief Shields says there's no investigation going on because the fire happened within the county and not city limits. Coming up at 6, this isn't the first time